Your repression subscription is now active.
1933. Dr. Hack the System 2025, the virus went mainstream. Wilhelm Reich wrote The Mass Psychology of Fascism in 1933. By 1934, the Nazis burned it. Why? Because he exposed their greatest trick. They didn't invent repression, they industrialized it. Reich wasn't warning us about a party. He was dissecting a disease, a character structure, a way of being that feeds on fear, thrives on obedience, and reproduces itself through the body. For 2,000 years, the church did the hard labor, breaking bodies, poisoning pleasure, engineering obedience.
Church 1.0 was so inefficient. Burning heretics one by one? Please. Modern fascism runs on cloud-based shame.
Purity Prime Update. Now with 50% more scapegoating.
No need to build the prison when you can order delivery. The church didn't just shame your body, it engineered obedience. Through mysticism, sin, and sacrifice, it planted anxiety deep into childhood. A child raised to believe their own desires are evil becomes an adult who craves control. Reich called this the emotional plague, a pandemic of armored personalities, trained to surrender freedom in exchange for structure. Reich understood something no other analyst of fascism dared to say. Fascist propaganda doesn't persuade, it seduces. It doesn't appeal to reason, it manipulates blocked pleasure. He wrote, "The structure of fascist propaganda is rooted in the structure of the fascist's character." That means slogans like "blood and soil," "make America great again," or "God, family, country," don't need to be logical. They need to resonate with the repressed longing for authority and release. The more emotionally armored a person is, the more easily they bond to irrational slogans, because those slogans activate deep, unaddressed emotions: guilt, submission, vengeance. Fascist propaganda works not because it informs, but because it harmonizes with bodies already bent into obedience. Fascism doesn't create rage, it delivers it. Like a franchise model, it takes pre-cooked hate, slaps a new uniform on it, and sells it as nationalism.
Would you like to supersize your authoritarianism for just 0.99 social credit?
But underneath the flag, it's always the same recipe: frustration, guilt, submission. Fascism didn't arise from ideology. It arose from character. The armored man, terrified of freedom, begging to obey. It's not innovation, it's inheritance. But here's where the story gets even more uncomfortable. Don't think his repression came only from the right or the church. Reich was also seen as an enemy by the left, his former allies who abandoned him. The episode that broke him? Communists, his former allies, rejected his warnings. They saw his focus on human liberation through the body and its link to sexual expression as a dangerous distraction from the class struggle. He told them, "You can't free the worker if the worker is still afraid of their own body." They told him, "Stick to the dialectic." And this wasn't just a party line. Influential thinkers on the left, like Theodor Adorno, reinforced this rejection. Adorno dismissed Reich's work as dangerous, calling his focus on pleasure a simplistic delusion, and warning it could discredit all serious political thought. He didn't even read the book. They wrote thousands of pages critiquing popular culture, but the body's natural joy was unscientific. They didn't burn Reich's books. They buried them. They mocked his orgasm theory, called it mystical, called him dangerous. But what they really feared was pleasure they couldn't control. Reich's greatest heresy wasn't what he said about fascists. It was what he said about revolutionaries, that they couldn't liberate others while still chained to their own armored flesh. Control is still control, even when it wears a rainbow. The left polices language, the right polices bodies. Both police desire. Modern fascism comes in all flags. They were brutalized by fascism, slaughtered, dehumanized, erased. And now, their government replicates the same formula: controlled zones, pervasive surveillance, manipulated narratives, and collective punishment. What began as trauma became policy. It's not irony. It's a repression recipe. Repression doesn't end with survival. It mutates into control. The smell of tear gas in urban centers, uniformed personnel in American streets, protesters screaming, "Never again," through gas masks, to a system that stopped listening.
Congratulations, citizens! You've unlocked late-stage institutional fire.
Surprise! The Reich is back, just with better tech and worse memes. They told us it couldn't happen here. Reich knew better. The body doesn't care about borders. Armored bodies can't dance. But damn, watch them try. So we say this: Clearly, we are not left. We are not right. We are alive. For daring to speak this truth, his books were burned by the fascists, and he was expelled from the Communist Party by the revolutionaries. Both feared what he exposed, and we're done watching this puppet show of political fantoches jerk around dead ideologies while they lock your body in a cage. This is what we call the reverse spell. It's using their own strategy against them. We are pro-orgasm, pro-joy, pro-burning every cage, because fascism's deepest secret isn't political. It's anatomical. They don't fear your vote, they don't fear your body, they don't fear protest, they don't fear pleasure.
Tired of thinking for yourself? Try Fascism Trademark. Side effects include eternal parental issues, chronic social paranoia, and the irresistible urge to salute mailboxes.
Fascism's Yelp reviews.
Finally, a movement that lets me blame all my trauma on a designated other.
Too much thinking. Needs more uniforms.
Great for channeling my domestic frustration into authoritarian cosplay.
The church baked the cake, fascism added the frosting. Now they're door-dashing it straight to your amygdala.
Guten Tag. I have a special delivery here. For Herr Philipp are traumatized. Your freshly baked guilt has arrived.
Fascism is a rental. Pleasure is squatters' rights. They burned Reich's work once. Don't let them erase it again. Subscribe, share, and cancel their damn subscription. They burned his books, but fire is also a form of energy.
Your local fascist leader just liked your Orgone content.